To Newsroom Live. My name is Morgan Mackay. I'm the political reporter here at Fox 5 News, and we're hosting our 1 p.m. show here on this live stream. So first, if you live in New York City, you could probably take a look outside and see it's pretty muggy today, pretty humid, pretty miserable, one might say. We're kind of in this like fake summer in this fall time. And first today, we're going to be heading over to our reporter, Lisa Evers, who's outside the Sean Diddy Combs trial. And she's been following the story since the very beginning. And she's out there right now. So we're going to go ahead and bring her in. So Lisa, what's it like out there? What's going on?
Well, Morgan, I was here inside the courtroom at 500 Pearl Street. This is federal court, Southern District of New York, where the trial was held for Sean Diddy Combs, where that jury threw out the RICO charges against him, but did find him guilty of 2 counts of transportation for prostitution. And what was supposed to happen today was the judge was expected to rule on some motions that were made by Diddy's defense team. They're trying to throw out that guilty verdict on those transportation for prostitution charges. Now, the judge decided not to rule on that. A ruling could come tomorrow, could come next week. And the date, his official date for sentencing is actually a week from tomorrow, on Friday, October 3rd. So he's looking at anywhere from time served, which is what his defense team wants, or he could, if they want to really throw the book at him, which doesn't seem likely, but you never know, they could give him up to 20 years, 10 years for each one of those guilty counts on the transportation for prostitution. But the courtroom was packed. He walked in, Morgan, in the tan. This wasn't the coordinated J. Crew type outfits that he was wearing during the trial, where they allowed him to wear pullover crew neck sweaters, button-down collar shirts, and khaki pants. He was in the MDC. The MDC, which is where he's at, Metropolitan Detention Center, a federal detention facility. It's an MDC tan inmate jumpsuit. He's wearing that. He was handcuffed as he was brought in by the U.S. Marshals. His hair longer than I've ever seen, mostly gray now, and he had a full beard, from ear to ear. That was salt and pepper. But the judge is ruling, it's legal experts that I've talked to that are familiar with this case and that have helped us all the way through this process understand what's going on, say that it's very, very unlikely at this point that a judge would throw out a guilty verdict that a jury reached after nearly 2 months of a trial. And it was interesting because the arguments that they were making was that the verdict should not stand because this wasn't prostitution. It was basically consenting adults making home porno videos. So that was the argument. But the judge did a lot of questioning of both the prosecutors and the defense. And at the end of the day, he said that he would defer his decision. It could come at any time, but most likely what the experts are telling me here is that it will come a week from tomorrow at that October 3rd sentencing. Morgan?
Lisa, you're doing such incredible work out there. Before you go, I just want to ask you a quick question about just what's it like outside? I know a lot of the times trials like this bring in a lot of people. Has it been crazy outside this time around?
Well, this was just a one-off today because it was one hearing, but when we were here in this very same spot during the actual trial as it was taking place, it was like a circus. There was a circus outside. It was people driving by, stopping their cars, honking horns, making comments. There were protesters. There were professional line sitters, which media outlets used to hold their spot because the courtroom has limited seating and it's first come, first served basis. But today it's just basically it's gloomy.
Yeah.
But the rain stopped and just a couple of minutes before we started chatting. So I'm happy for that. And but the whole Combs family was there too. I should point out that they've been here all along. His mother, his adult children were all here. Other relatives and close supporters of him. So the courtroom was packed, and we were lucky to be able to get in there. Morgan?
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I know you do such incredible work on this trial. We'll be sure to be catching your report. You can catch Lisa's report tonight at 5 o'clock to hear more about this case today. So she'll have all the latest. She's been following this, again, since the beginning and doing some incredible work on that. So also our reporter, Stephanie Bertini, is out today, and she's covering a story following casinos at this moment. She wasn't able to join us live right now, but she was in our noon show, and she will be delivering her reports again later today with some more details at 5 p.m. And she's covering how New York City is going to be getting 3 casino licenses awarded by the end of the year. And today in Yonkers, 1 casino bid was actually approved by the community board. It's the first one. It's the MGM and Resorts World proposal in Yonkers. Now, 3 bids for Manhattan have already been voted down by community boards here in Manhattan. There are at least 4 other proposals outstanding right now, so there's still a chance for some of these other areas to also get a casino license. Now, this casino license, the Empire Casino by MGM Resorts, this one was approved by the the community board, but that does not mean that they are going to get this license. However, those licenses are going to be awarded by the end of the year. But now we are, I'm hearing that we've got some sound on this as well from the community board and from that hearing and vote that happened just a few hours ago. We're going to go to that right now.
Full speed ahead. I hope to God the state passes this, gives us that 3rd license. I'm pretty optimistic, but that the state is going to come through, that we're going to be one of the final 3. So it's a good day for Yonkers today.
My concern is that it seems like the developers are benefiting more than the residents. And it could be because there's not the communication of the benefits that will come. Right now, our taxes went up 5.9%, 2.2%, and yet we see a lot of development going on.
Now, speaking to state lawmakers and other stakeholders in this process, a lot of them told me that the Manhattan bids, they didn't have a good shot as it was. I know we covered another, it got a lot of attention, was that casino bid in Times Square. It was always going to be hard to get a casino in Manhattan in general, especially Times Square, because of how busy it already is. But there are other areas that are looking pretty good, like the Steve Cohen's, his Hard Rock International casino bid that would go near Citi Field in Queens. There's another casino bid, Bally's Casino in the Bronx, and also one on Coney Island, although that one doesn't look like it's going to get through its community board. But again, those 3 casino licenses will be awarded at the end of the year. And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and learn about some weather that's coming up and get a good look at political landscape as well with the mayor's race and what I'll be tackling later today.
All right.
And we are back, and I am here with our weather person, Liv Johnson, who's going to give us the latest on some severe weather coming in, and it looks miserable outside. It was miserable walking to work. I was like sweating, but also like slightly cold.
Sticky
and
yeah.
It's like this fake summer I feel like we're in.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
there was like a
know.
week where it was like really cold here in
Yeah.
like beginning of September, and I was like,
Right.
okay, we're in the
We're in
fall,
fall,
but
yeah.
now it's like hot again, and it's
Right,
like
it's
80,
hot
I
and
think it's
humid
supposed to be
again.
tomorrow or something. So give us the latest.
Yeah, so we're revisiting summer a little bit, especially with the thunderstorms. You know, usually at this point when we get rain, it's kind of just rainfall, but now we have some thunderstorms moving through the area. We had a tornado warning in Sullivan County that expired at 12:45. Then we had one pop up in Delaware County. That one was supposed to expire at 1:15, but it already has expired a little bit early.
That's good news.
Right, and you can see on our satellite radar that the worst of it has already sort of passed through, and it's a little bit north and west of New York City was where it really was hovering, so exactly like Sullivan County. And Ulster County was getting some strong wind gusts, some heavy rain as well. Now we see some moving through Connecticut, like Hartford getting some thunderstorms. We haven't really had too much action in New York City or Long Island. We've definitely had rainfall, but we haven't had really strong storms. That doesn't mean we still can't see a thunderstorm later tonight. In fact, we probably will see an isolated one somewhere in the city and out east as we go through the afternoon and the evening. We're expecting maybe another half of an inch of rain in New York. Yeah.
I know it's a good thing. I know rain is like what you want, especially for upstate New York. You know, you got your vegetation and your crops and your farms, and even here in New York City, we've got parks and rain's good. But
Right.
I feel like we've gotten so much rain this year. Is it just me, or have you seen the trends that there is more?
Usually we see more in September than we have so far, so we're still a little bit behind, and we're not really in bad drought conditions yet, but like remember last October, was it? And I swear it didn't rain the entire month. Like
Yep,
it was
and
the
people were very
longest
worried
dry,
about that.
right?
Yeah,
Right, and we
yeah.
had severe drought in New Jersey. So yeah, we don't want to get back to that. We're not, but I mean September we're below average for total rainfall. So
Wow.
we haven't seen that much rain.
Ugh,
Yeah.
feels like it, but okay, that's good to know.
Well, I think when it has been raining, it's been kind of a lot. And that's why
yeah.
it feels like we've seen a lot of rainfall, but it hasn't really been that consistent. So, so we have rain today. We have rain Friday morning.
Okay.
But like most of Friday will be nice. It'll feel like, well, it'll be humid.
Okay.
But so rain tonight, rain tomorrow morning. Then we have
It's supposed to be pretty hot, right, tomorrow? Or
Right.
like 80
Right,
or so?
exactly.
Okay.
It's hot and humid.
Ugh.
And so, some of this system will just last kind of through the morning. But I think by even 11 a.m., we should be
Yeah.
mostly dry, except for how it feels. And then Saturday, the second half of the day, we could see some rain. Sunday, shower chance. But it's still just a chance right now. I don't want to say that the weekend is a washout, but showers maybe for the second half. Shower chance Sunday, but Monday we don't have a rain chance yet,
Wow.
and it's going to be 78 degrees.
Wow. So I'm going to try to like keep the happiness around the sun a little bit longer.
Do you have your umbrella today?
because I do. I did
Okay,
bring
good,
the umbrella. But yeah, you know, I feel like in January I always regret complaining about this like icky heat because in
Right.
January when you're freezing and you're trying to walk to
Right.
work, it's miserable.
No, I
but
would take this any day.
keep this
Yes,
the
everyone,
energy.
soak
Yeah.
it in, honestly, because
Yes.
we're about to go into October, and things start changing a little, and then
And get
November
miserable.
things get dangerous. So yeah, soak it in. Unfortunately, just have your umbrella for the rest of the day.
Well, thank you so much, Liv, for being here. And coming up after this next break, we're going to be taking a look at the mayor's race and where some of the candidates stand in a new poll. But first, I want to play a clip from yesterday from Zohran Mamdani and Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa, the Republican nominee in the mayor's race, said that he's received around 7 offers so far from people trying to get him to drop out of the race. They've offered him millions of dollars, and Zohran Mamdani was asked if he believes it. And he also, they both said that the race is not for sale, and Curtis Lewa doubling down, saying he's in it until the end. But here's what Zohran Mamdani said, and here's a little bit more what Curtis said.
You that of Andrew Cuomo, Eric Adams, and Curtis Lewa, I trust Curtis Lewa's word the most. And I think it speaks to the fact that New Yorkers deserve to make their own decision as to who should lead this city.
I don't trust the politicians, and I don't trust the billionaires. So let me put you all on blast. You call me, you try to bribe me. First of all, it's unethical, it's illegal. I will tape your conversations. I will report it to the proper authorities.
Yeah, and again, Curtis Lewa saying that he's in this race until the very end. This cannot be a race that can be bought, and Mamdani saying the same thing. If you have any questions about the mayor's race, I've been covering the mayor's race since the beginning, and I am the political reporter here at Fox 5. I also host a half-hour politics show that airs every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. So if you have some questions, please let us know in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you. Hey everyone, we are back with Newsroom Live. I'm Morgan McKay. I'm the political reporter here at Fox 5. I did not get any questions yet about the mayor's race, but please feel free to write those in. Someone did mention that there are farms on Long Island, and we'll never forget about the farms also on Long Island, Strong Island. So the mayoral race, we are now about 40 days away from the November election, and we have a new poll out by Fox News that shows that the Democratic nominee, Zohran Mamdani, is leading the pack by nearly 20 points. He's at about 47%. Andrew Cuomo is his closest competitor, and he's polling at about 29%. The Republican nominee, Curtis Lewa, he's polling at 11%, and Mayor Eric Adams is polling at 7%. Now, from what I've been seeing from the polls, this is pretty much what we are seeing across the board from many different university polls and other polls taken by the New York Times, Stanford University, Quinnipiac, Marist. all of these polls pretty much show Mamdani with a 20-point lead ahead of his closest competitor, which is Andrew Cuomo. Eric Adams, his support is pretty underwater with voters right now. In the poll, they asked voters what their opinion of him is and exactly what is some of the issues. And 51% say that their opinion of him is that he's corrupt and untrustworthy. And Mamdani, though, he also is struggling with some unfavorables, and that is about only 20% support his policies and ideas. But Mayor Eric Adams, focusing on him quickly, right now in the mayor's race, he hasn't held a public campaign event now for 6 days. He doesn't have anything on his schedule today. Now, his team says that because it's UN week, that he's focusing on meeting with dignitaries and focusing on his job as mayor, and he's taking the week off to do that. However, it is a highly competitive race, so some experts have questioned if he's doing what's called silent quitting, which is when you're not exactly going to drop out of the race, but it's also when you kind of take a step back and you don't do any sort of campaign events. Now, Adams says that he is staying in the race, and he says, in fact, that rumors saying that he's not staying in the race is actually hurting him. However, if you look at the primary, for example, excuse me, do we have this live right now?
No.
Oh, sorry. No. But Mayor Adams, he has what's called, he's been saying that people trying to get him to drop out, it's hurting him, it's hurting his chance with donors. And so he is really doubling down that he's staying in the race. The reason why it's a little hard to trust this is because some people in his inner circle are going around to the media and to other people saying that Adams is on the fence. He doesn't know whether he should drop out of the race. The other issue as well is Adams insisted that he was going to be in the Democratic primary. He kept insisting. He said anyone who said he wasn't going to run in the Democratic primary were liars. However, as we saw, he did not run in the Democratic primary. He decided to run instead in the general election as an independent because he was battling those corruption charges that have now been dropped. But even if Adams were to get out of the race at this point, it's too late to get his name off the ballot. Ballots have already been printed and they are on their way, being mailed out to people who are getting absentee ballots. Military, for example, they're getting their ballots soon. So it's too late to get anyone's name off the ballot. They're in the race, at least on the ballot. That includes another candidate, Jim Walden. He's an independent candidate. He's staying in the race, he dropped out of the race, but he's staying on the ballot because, again, it was too late to get his name off the ballot by the time he decided that he didn't want to run anymore. Zohran Mamdani, he's not holding any events today. He is holding an event tomorrow, his team tells me. This week, he secured an endorsement from former Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, she kind of gave this half-hearted endorsement about halfway through the week when she was pressed, but his team tells me that she called him yesterday in order to talk about affordability with him, his affordability agenda, and did offer her support. Now, she was also asked yesterday if she would campaign with Mamdani, and she said maybe. Now, Mamdani has received endorsements from the three top state Democratic leaders, Governor Kathy Hochul, the Senate Majority Leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, and the Assembly Speaker, Carl Hastie. Now, the two legislative leaders, Andrea Stewart-Cousins and Carl Hastie, they also have voiced their support for Mamdani's initiatives like free childcare, free buses, and they support raising taxes on millionaires and corporations in order to do this. Now, we are actually interviewing Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins on our politics show tomorrow, Politics Unusual. It airs at 6:30 p.m. Now, in my discussions with some state lawmakers, there is a big issue that state lawmakers are going to have to deal with up in Albany next year, and that is potential federal funding gaps. Now, the city and the state are going to be dealing with possible federal health care cuts that could have devastating impact on the state and here in the city. And state lawmakers are going to have to find ways to fill those funding gaps. And one state lawmaker last week told me that she thinks that the state is going to have to raise taxes on millionaires and corporations just to fund existing programs, not necessarily new ones. So what the state legislature is going to do with the budget next year is yet to be seen. And we're going to have to see exactly how they grapple with that. And on top of that, Governor Kathy Hochul is going to also be running for re-election next year. And she said right now that absolutely no new taxes. Now, Andrew Cuomo, he's holding an event a little later today. And so I'll be there and I'll be bringing the latest on what he says about the race right now. And I think we're just about done here. Perfect. 30 seconds. I apologize. This is the first time that I've done this in this format. So this has been a lot of fun, though. And we will be getting Andrew Cuomo in just a little bit about his conversations actually with Mayor Eric Adams' team. He told the New York Times that he has spoken with Frank Carone, who's one of Adams' most trusted advisors, but he said on Bloomberg TV today that he has not had any conversations with Adams' team. So a little bit of a contradiction. We'll try to figure it out. My name is Morgan Mackay. Thanks so much for being here.